Hi, welcome to week 2 of Loving Loose Parts. We hope you're really enjoying the e-course so far. So last week we talked about what are loose parts, and this week we're looking at the benefits. So the benefits, it could be a really long list. We have dwindled it down to just 5. I think I did 5. 5 benefits of loose parts play. And so the first one is that it's all ages. So babies can play with loose parts, older children can play with loose parts, adults can play with loose parts, and everyone will get something different out of it. So particularly in settings where there's family grouping, so maybe it's family daycare, or maybe you're in a service that has family grouping in the mornings, in the afternoons, or even throughout the whole day. Loose parts take away that need for that experience is designed for children age 3 and up, or ages 0 to 2, or whatever. So it's really, really open. The second thing is that they're affordable. So this is a benefit, I guess, for us as adults. Our budgets are not never ending. We tend to have quite a limit on what we can spend, particularly in the early childhood sector. A lot of educators actually purchase their own materials for their services. So loose parts are a great way to get a lot of materials, often for free, or really, really cheap. So that's a winner. As far as I'm concerned, if you can get some pallets or some wood, or you can get, some old buckets, or you can get rocks, you can get pipes. Maybe you've got a family in your service and they're a plumbing family, and so they might have some old pipes that you might be able to use. Put the questions out there. Say, hey, we need this kind of stuff. Often people don't know that that's what you're looking for until you ask. So that's a big benefit. So that's 2 benefits. The third is that it develops sensory skills, sensory processing skills. It integrates all that sensory stuff. So if anyone's familiar with our Timbernook Newcastle program, it's part of a much bigger program developed by Angela Hanscom in the US, who is an occupational therapist. Angela identified that outdoor play is one of the best ways to get a lot of muscles working, and to focus on sensory issues, around, balance and vestibular processing. So outdoor play obviously is a big connector. Loose parts fit in really well with outdoor play and indoor play, but we tend to see a lot of loose parts outdoors. So I know for us at Timbernook, we spend a lot of time playing with tyres and pallets and pipes and pavers and all sorts of open-ended loose stuff. We find muscles developing, we find fine motor skills developing, all sorts of things happening from a physical perspective. So that's benefit number 3. Number 4 is that there are no gender biases. There are no any kind of biases. Loose parts materials are really inclusive. So if, like me, you take a trip to a well-known department store that I won't name, but you can go and there's an aisle of pink things for girls and blue things for boys, and although things are starting to change, there is still a really strong gender bias around toys. And so loose parts are great because they take away that gender bias. There's no, this is what girls play with, or this is what boys play with. This is what anybody plays with. So that's a really great thing. There's also, they're a really inclusive material, really inclusive resource, because children can use them in different ways. So depending on their different abilities, skill sets, development, they can use them in a way that suits them. So loose parts, very inclusive, number 4. And finally, number 5, they're the ultimate in play affordance. They're creative. They allow children to make choices about how they play. They allow children to come up with new ideas, to test out theories, to build, to construct, to work together, essentially to play. So they're the ultimate when it comes to play affordance. So that's our 5 benefits. As I say, there's plenty more. And obviously, the more time you spend with children engaging with loose parts, the more benefits you'll see. But that's 5 to get you started.